The Nile waters are Egypt's lifeblood, and for that reason, a potential source of conflict across the East African region. Colonial-era agreements protected Egypt's vital interests, but irked most of the countries upstream. The River Nile runs through 10 countries, including Congo, Rwanda, Kenya, and Uganda. Ethiopia is the source of the Blue Nile, and it's claimed to contribute the bulk of the river's waters. Ethiopia says it could wean itself off food aid if it could irrigate the river. But the colonial agreement between Egypt and Britain gives Egypt and Sudan the right to use up to 90% of the Nile's water. Egypt says it can't afford to give up this because of its growing population. Since May 2010, 6 states have signed a new deal which attempts to redistribute access to the water. But Egypt and Sudan say they will not sign any deal that affects their share. Ethiopia has now decided to go ahead with a major dam construction project. It has started diverting a stretch of the Blue Nile to make way for a $4.7 billion hydroelectric dam. This took Egypt by surprise. In a speech last night, President Mohamed Morsi said, "We are not calling for war, but we will never permit our water security to be threatened." Drawing on an old Egyptian song about the Nile, he said, "If it diminishes by 1 drop, then our blood is the alternative." All this angry rhetoric has raised concerns of a water war between Egypt and Ethiopia. Earlier this year, Sudan added a $460 million expansion to one of its dams on the Blue Nile. And now, in a surprise move, Khartoum has backed Ethiopia's dam-building project, saying Sudan stands to benefit from the project too. Who uses how much of these waters has been a controversial issue for decades, with Cairo threatening war as far back as the 1970s. From the look of things, a solution to this dispute is nowhere on the horizon. Alex Jakana, BBC News.